uncover a tragic tale of misuse, negligence, and untold horrors in anesthesia abuse.
In addition to hypotension, Sevoflurane also prolongs QT interval on ECG. This prolongation of ECG doesn't have any compensatory tachycardia. Cardiac output is not well maintained as Desoflurane or Isoflurane. Respiratory system. Inhaled volatile anesthetics, such as halothane, isoflurane, sevoflurane, and desflurane, are known to be potent bronchodilators. It is also an agent of choice of intraoperative bronchospasm. The reaction of sevoflurane with soda lime. Soda lime, a carbon dioxide absorbent. Soda lime is used in closed-circuit breathe-in systems for absorbing carbon dioxide. The main function of soda lime is the absorption of CO2. But this, soda lime with sevoflurane conforms compound A. This compound A is can be nephrotoxic. This can be prevented by increasing fresh gas flow. The fresh gas flow of 2 liters per minute is used to prevent the formation of compound A. This fresh gas flow makes the agent faster, less reaction with soda lime, and less formation of compound A. Storage. Sevoflurane is degraded by metal and environmental impurities. When it is degraded, it forms hydrogen fluoride. This hydrogen fluoride, HF, when a patient inhales it can lead to the burning of respiratory mucosa. Acid burns. This can be prevented by the addition of water during manufacturing and storing it in the special plastic container, so it is not exposed to metal or the environment.
All right, and we're going to try to get to all the other questions about everything. Foxy, thank you for answering that. Stephan Sterns got a web prescription and used it at walmart.com. Now, you wouldn't be able to do that. And yes, I've thanked Flunder for getting the documents, although I wish they were redacted more. All right, the stuff is nasty. And I don't know why it wasn't explained better in the, on the actual episode, because then everybody's asking what it is. Again, I'm going to give you a quick clip on this so you can see who uses this and what.
So this person here actually asked me, why do I prefer to use isoflurane instead of sevoflurane? I don't particularly have a preference. I actually use both gases sometimes, but she watched a video where I used isoflurane, and I do use that gas most of the time. So there are many reasons that you can choose one gas over the other, but I find isoflurane to have more of a hemodynamic stability compared to...
So basically, who's using this, guys, are the doctors, the dentists. We don't need to get into the compounds of it. I just wanted you guys to know what it was, so if someone comes in, they can go back and rewatch it. Okay, now let's get into what we're doing today. I'll try to answer the questions with my introduction, and then we're going to get into the actual new text messages and then everything else that we can do. Yeah, it's like an anesthesiologist, and it's very dangerous when somebody that's not an anesthesiologist is mixing it with Ativan and marijuana and sleeping pills. All right, no, you're not blocked, Carrie. You're not going to get blocked. All right. Yeah, we used to be, you can call him a chomo, Barb. I don't know who said not to call him a chomo. I never changed my opinion that Stephan Sterns, that he essayed Maddie for years. All right. We just don't use the other words. That's the short for it. So I don't know who's saying you can't call him a chomo. I've never changed my stance on who Stephan is. And Stephan has all but admitted to all of the sexual assaults on Maddie, and he's told me I just don't want to talk about it. All right. Now, I've heard of sevo because I had a brachial, I don't know how to spell that, dog, so I also use the anesthesia. It's used with surgery on them. I've had a hard time believing you can get a script. Yes, you can. You can easily get a script for that, lemon lime. So I don't know how. You could say PDF or chomo. It doesn't matter. We're not changing that. That didn't change, guys. None of that's changed. What was done to Maddie's disgusting, and they're both guilty. Absolutely. What's up, Truth Seeker? Good to see you. All right, let's get through this, and then we'll get back to the documents. All right, let's go into this so I can. All right, listen, easy peasy. I literally got the answers for you. So if it's hard to believe, go check for yourself. I asked, can vets use it? Yes, sevoflurane is commonly used. Let me take this up. commonly used in veterinary anesthesia for surgeries. It's administered via specialized equipment, vaporizers, and anesthesia machines. That's how strong it is. Online prescriptions company. Guys, listen, even dogs, you can get it for a dog online. Online pharmacists exist for human and pet medications, but controlled substances like anesthetics are not available. But that's not a controlled substance, according to the United States. Examples of legitimate online prescription companies: Chewy Pharmacy and GoodRx.com. I can go on to GoodRx.com right now and show you online that I can tell them I want this Sevoflurane and tell them why I need it, and they will write me a prescription. All right. So if you don't know, now you know, in the words of Biggie. If you don't know, now you know. Now you know. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Safety and misuse questions. Now, these are all the questions that you guys asked of the plunder video. Can you put sevoflurane into a vape? No. Sevoflurane is a volatile anesthetic requiring specialized vaporizers. Attempting to inhale it outside of medical supervision is extremely dangerous and not feasible. Can it be bought online? Not legally. Any online sale to consumers would be illicit. Well, we need to find out who the company was that prescribed it and hold them accountable, not Walmart. We shouldn't be asking, can Walmart be sued? We should be asking, can the company that gave Stephan a prescription be sued? That's the question here. How much Sevo can you take? What's the overdose risk? Sevoflurane is dosed by anesthesiologists in controlled concentrations. Overdose can cause respiratory depression, cardiac arrest, and death. Does sevoflurane show up in drug tests? Standard drug panels do not test for anesthetic gases. Detecting Sevo requires specialized toxicology testing. Now listen, Jenn Soto had Maddie cremated right away. I've always had a problem with Maddie being cremated right away. When there's a crime of this magnitude and your little girl's been raped for 6-7 years, okay? And then all the other drugs and things that Jenn was giving Maddie behind the scenes, she did not want that to come out, and they do not test for things like Sevo if you don't know what you're looking for, okay? So that being said, she cremated Maddie so that they wouldn't find all the drugs that was being given to her, okay? And yes, that's my whole point in showing you this, because it would have a very short shelf life if he didn't buy it and use it right then and there. Now, they can save a blood sample, but that is not necessarily how it is obtained. The sample has to be taken from the liver, and there's a lot of special circumstances and things that you would do to test for something that you're inhaling. And then if you go ahead and cremate a body, then it's even harder to go back and find out. For Chewy Pharmacy, you still need to send an RX from an actual vet. They won't just randomly send you. Exactly, Zulik. So if you go on to goodrx.com and you pay them, then guess what? They'll do that. Should be a doctor and license number. Yes, and there will be. There will be. Guess what? There's a license attached to goodrx.com, onlinescripts.com. And if you Google that right now, you'll find 10 companies that will give you a prescription. Okay. So Sevo can overdose you and cause respiratory depression, cardiac arrest, and death. Does it show up in drug tests? No, unless you're looking for it. Do you need a license? Yes. Okay. How does it work? It depresses the central nervous system, reproducing unconscious and muscle relaxation by acting on the GABA receptors in the brain. Toxicology after death: sevoflurane is volatile and dissipates quickly. Unless specifically tested for soon after death, it may not be detected. Cremation eliminates the possibility of later testing. Do I need to put that up for you guys even bigger? Okay, listen, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I don't want to say it 1,000 times. I've said this before. Jenn Soto cremated Madeline Soto with a purpose. She did not want her body to be inspected for all of the grape, all of the things that weren't evil, all the sex acts, all of the things that Jenn Soto was also giving her. When I say things, I mean drugs. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it today. Look at that. Toxicology after death. Sevoflurane is volatile and it dissipates quickly. It will not stay in the blood long, like Darlene said, unless you're specifically testing for it soon after death. It may not be detected. Cremation eliminates the possibility of later testing for this. So please, unless you're a doctor and you guys know, try not to argue with me about this, because I'm telling you right now, I've said it from day one. Arrest not Hen Soto, Jenn Soto, because Jenn is just as responsible for this as Stephan Sterns is. And a matter of fact, she cremated Maddie with a purpose, in my opinion. Michael Jackson would take shit like that. He died. Okay, it slows your heart down. Yeah, mix them with other drugs. You're going to vomit and you're going to die. Right? This explains why she was probably sleeping in class. All right. Now, I put that up there for long enough. If you cremate a body, it's going to be really hard to check for something that you're huffing or sniffing later on. Let's arrest Jenn Soto. All right. Davina79. Thanks, Jay. I'm really glad I found you from Turtle Island. Thanks for the hard work you put in, plus your mods. Thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. You guys stay with me after this. Yes, Michael Jackson had propofol. Yes, similar but better. All right. Michael Jackson was rich. Stay with me after this because we're going to talk about Christmas stuff. All right. Again, Jamie Casey, thank you. James McConnell, thank you so much for the $1.99 super sticker. Lizzie, thank you for being a member. And Davina, thank you for the $20 super chat. Okay, let's keep going. I hope you guys understand cremation eliminates the possibility of later testing. All right, what we're talking about today, Stephan Sterns' phone contents, bank records, and emails, okay? He reset his phone on February 28, 2024. Last time he was able to do that ever. Location history contradicted his statements, alerting law enforcement to knowing that he was lying and then finding the different cameras from where he actually went. Accounts found here: Gmail, TikTok, Tinder, Walmart.com, and Discord, and many other sites. One in particular was a toddler type of PORN, a toddler CSAM site. Toddlers and SEX, toddlers and abuse. No doubt that Stephan Sterns liked looking at young children. No doubt that Stephan Sterns graped Maddie for years. Without further ado, and without me saying any different, Stephan Sterns is and was a chomo. All right. I don't think that's going to go away. And when you look at his searches, which I'm not going to show you all, he was absolutely sexually aroused by children. Okay.